This is the Chris Crush Show. I'm back for a quick episode. I know I said over the weekend on my Instagram that I was gonna post an episode over the weekend, but I just never got around to it, and I'm finally around to it. And I just want to quickly come on here to give you my predictions on the NBA second round of the playoffs. They're officially underway. A couple of game ones have already happened. I think the only game one that hasn't happened is the Lakers and the Warriors, and that one happens tomorrow at 9 p.m. Central Time. So anyways, here are my predictions on the next slide. Okay, so as you guys know, before every episode I begin with a jersey. Unfortunately, I haven't bought any new jerseys. All the jerseys I have are just the same ones, but I wanted to do something a little different today. I wanted to give you a shoe this time, I guess. This is a running shoe. As you guys know, if you follow me on Instagram, social media, all that stuff, you know I'm a runner. And I wanted to share this shoe because I think it looks really cool in general. This is the Nike Pegasus Turbo Nature. It's ZoomX. If you guys know anything about ZoomX, you know ZoomX is probably the bounciest foam they have. This shoe is really, really lightweight. I love running in it. I ran in it twice already. It's just amazing. It is hard to put on, but you know, give or take, whatever. I do hope to do shoe reviews at some point in my little crisscross stuff, but that's not, you know, probably till, you know, end of the school year when I have a little bit more time to kind of make videos and edit videos. So anyways, just want to share this shoe with you. I highly recommend getting it. You could probably get it really cheap on Nike outlets or even online. I know they're on sale, but yeah, I just want to share it. And anyways, back to the regular scheduled program. Okay, so I wanted to go over the second round, the NBA second round, give you my opinion on each series, also give you X factors on who I think are going to be key players to that team winning the series. So anyways, starting first with the Denver Nuggets versus the Phoenix Suns. Now, Denver did play Phoenix on Saturday night in Denver, and Phoenix lost the game, I think 100 to 125. It was kind of a blowout towards the very end of the game. Denver kind of took control. It was a pretty good game. I saw it while I was at the gym, a little bit of it, and it looked close at one point, but then obviously Denver kind of got carried away and, you know, blew them out. Anyways, with that being said, Denver leads the series 1-0. My prediction on who's going to win the series is I believe that the Denver Nuggets are going to win in 6 games. I do believe they're going to win in 6. Now, Denver kind of wants the revenge from 2 years ago when the Phoenix Suns swept them. That's where kind of like the funny meme about the guy with the Suns in 4 came out. I can't stand Phoenix because of that, and also because, you know, they're just star loaded. So I'm going to go with Denver in 6, but again, I'm going to be a little unbiased here. I'm going to go with Denver in 6 because I do believe Denver is a lot deeper, and that's going to matter when it comes to the series getting longer. Like Phoenix right now has a big 4. Chris Paul can disappear because that's what kind of happens to him. Like his body kind of breaks down in the playoffs the past couple of years, and that's kind of what's happened. That happened last year against Dallas. That happened 2 years ago in the finals, and so forth. And I just believe that Chris Paul's body's going to kind of shut down on him, or he's just going to kind of get slower and more tired as the series goes on. So I'm predicting Denver's going to win in 6. Phoenix is probably going to get game 2 and maybe game 3 or 4 in Phoenix. It's going to be a close series at first. It's going to look close, but Denver, I feel, is just going to wear on Phoenix. Denver, like I said, is loaded with players on the bench. They've got Thomas Bryant sitting on the bench. They've got other players that are sitting on the bench that can, you know, at points in the series, you can just plug them in and make them guard Kevin Durant and Devin Booker and just wear them out. So I do believe Devin Booker and Kevin Durant are going to get worn out as the series goes on because Denver's just going to throw bodies at those guys, multiple bodies. And again, after Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, where's your scoring going to come from? So that's just my opinion on that. Also, X factors. For me, an X factor for Phoenix, and they really need this player to play great for the rest of the way there in order for them to get a chance, is DeAndre Ayton. Now, DeAndre Ayton is a pretty good player. He gives you about 18 points, 10 rebounds a game in the regular season. I need him to give Phoenix 20 points and about 12 rebounds a game from here on out in order for them to win the series. And also play good defense on Nikola Jokic. Nikola Jokic is a pretty good player. He's going to get his points regardless. But if you can tire him out, make him miss a couple shots, that's going to play a big part in Phoenix possibly winning this series. So DeAndre Ayton, I'm going to be looking at him the rest of the series to be playing spectacular. If he doesn't, Kevin Durant and Jamal Murray and Devin Booker can only take you so far with their spectacular play. And I feel like if DeAndre Ayton doesn't play good, Kevin Durant and Devin Booker are going to literally have to be Batman and Superman in order to win this series against the Denver Nuggets. So that's why I'm going to go with Denver winning in 6, just because, I don't think DeAndre Ayton will match that. The X factor for Denver is going to be Jamal Murray. He proved that in game 1 when he went off and scored a bunch of points. Jamal Murray is a pretty good player. I mean, there's no denying it. He gets overlooked because he plays in Denver and he's not loud like, Devin Booker dating models and whatnot. So I do believe that Jamal Murray is going to be the X factor for Denver. I do believe he's going to be pretty consistent. If he can match Devin Booker's points at least, or Kevin Durant's points, then they're going to be in a good spot. Jamal Murray's a pretty good shooter towards the end of the game. He's pretty clutch in close situations. And I do believe if the ball's in his hands with the close game, he's going to close out that game, especially against Phoenix, because we all know he didn't play that series against Phoenix a couple years ago when they swept them. And I know he wants to prove to the world that, I'm better than Devin Booker and I'm here and I want this moment. So I'm going to go with Denver winning in 6. You can place your bets on that now. I know they're already a game in, but, I just think that Denver's going to pull it out and they're just going to wear on Phoenix. And that's just what's going to happen to the poor Phoenix Suns. All right, next series. I'm actually shifting to the East Coast on this one. Miami versus the New York Knicks. Now, they played Sunday afternoon, and Miami ended up winning game 1. Jimmy Butler did go down with an ankle injury, and I read today in a tweet that Jimmy Butler's ankle is like the size of a baseball, which, again, Jimmy Butler's a pretty big dude, so his ankle looking like the size of a baseball probably isn't that big. I mean, if my ankle looked like a baseball, it'd be big because I'm just a lot smaller than Jimmy Butler. But regardless, that's not good news, especially since they play game 2, I do believe, tomorrow or Wednesday. That's not a lot of time to heal. Ankles take a long time. As a runner, as a person who plays recreational basketball, I've twisted my ankle a number of times, and sometimes I'm out for like a week. And I'm just here chilling, afterwards. But I do believe that my prediction, let me go back to my prediction. My prediction is that the New York Knicks are going to win in 7 games. Now, this is all dependent on 2 players. One is Jimmy Butler. If Jimmy Butler misses game 2, I think New York is going to win game 2 because they have to win game 2. Because next, if they don't win game 2, they're going to Miami down 0-2. If Jimmy Butler doesn't play, again, I think New York is going to win the series because I think Jimmy Butler with a swollen ankle isn't going to do much for you on offense, let alone defense, when they're going to constantly target him with a bad ankle. Now, also, Julius Randle. If Julius Randle plays game 2, and if he plays the rest of the way and plays, gives you 20 to 25 points a game, plays solid defense against Bam and Kevin Love, I do believe that the New York Knicks are going to win. Now, again, it's all kind of dependent on those 2 players, really. So, like I said, I'm still going with the Knicks in 7 just because, honestly, I'd love to see the Knicks in the conference finals against Boston or Philadelphia. I think that would be awesome. Also, it'd be good for basketball. Even though I love Miami, I love Duncan Robinson, I love all those boys. But again, I just want to see New York in the conference finals, and I just love seeing the ridiculousness that the New York fans do every single time they win a game in the playoffs. I think it's amazing, and I think it'll be good for basketball. I think you'll get a lot of views because, again, it's the Knicks, X factors for each team. For the New York Knicks, I do believe the X factor is going to be Julius Randle. Now, again, Julius Randle missed game 1, and I do believe that's why they lost game 1. New York really missed Julius Randle's post presence. They didn't have that. Obviously, Mitchell Robinson, he's not that guy like that. So I think Julius Randle, if he plays, and like I said, gives you 20 to 25 points, gives you 10 rebounds, they're going to win this series if Julius Randle plays from here on out. Now, for Miami, the X factor, it's going to be a surprise to a little bit of people. Kevin Love. Now, a lot of people don't know who Kevin Love is. People just think, oh, he's coming from Cleveland. He was sitting on the bench in Cleveland for the past couple years. Whatever. Kevin Love is a great player, even if he's playing or not. He's a shooter. He shoots 3-point shots. He can kill you on the boards. If you didn't know Kevin Love in his Minnesota days, he was a pretty good rebounder. And Kevin Love, if he can rebound, throw outlet passes, hit a couple 3-pointers, he's going to be the X factor if he has, 12 points, 10 rebounds a game from here on out. I do believe he's going to be the X factor in Miami winning. Now, again, Jimmy Butler is obviously the star, and if Jimmy Butler plays, they're probably going to win for sure. But again, Kevin Love, those key moments in close games with Kevin Love on there is going to matter so much. Also, cool stat. Since Kevin Love has been on the starting lineup for Miami, they are 4-0. So, again, that's just me, proving my point here that Kevin Love is going to be a huge X factor for the Miami Heat. I'm still going to Knicks in 7, but again, that's all dependent on Julius Randle and kind of Jimmy Butler here. I'm going to go with Knicks in 7 just because, again, I'd love to see the Knicks in the conference finals and possibly the finals against the Lakers. But, again, that's neither here nor there. We're not there yet. So, Knicks in 7. Place your bets on it. Bet your friends. Tell them, hey, I'll bet you $20. Knicks win in 7. So I'm confident with that one. Win yourself some $20 with your friends. Go with the Knicks in 7. So anyways, up next, we're staying in the East Coast with Philadelphia and Boston. Okay, so Philadelphia and Boston, they had just played about 3 hours ago. Game finished about 3 hours ago in Boston, Game 1. Philadelphia stole Game 1. Now, before Game 1 began, about an hour before, they said Joel Embiid was out. That kind of makes me mad because Joel Embiid's had about 8 days off. Now, again, I don't know the severity of his knee, but I think in a game like this, when you're trying to really prove a point to not only your GM, your owner, all that stuff, you need to go out there and play. Again, I don't know the severity of his knee. I haven't really been keeping track with Joel Embiid's injury. Philadelphia really missed him, and they're going to miss him if he doesn't play this series. But anyways, with my prediction, I do believe that Philadelphia is going to win this series in 6 games. I'm going to get into it in just a little bit. But again, that's all going to be dependent on Joel Embiid if he plays the rest of the way, or at least games 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to go with Philadelphia in 6 games because the way they played Boston today, they matched them bucket for bucket. Again, Jason Tatum went off. Jason Tatum had about, 36 points last time I checked. Jason Tatum went off. That's Boston's top star. Now, again, did James Harden match him? Yes. James Harden scored 45 points, had probably the best game he's going to have all series. Now, again, this is going to have to deal with Joel Embiid coming back. James Harden went off. I can't depend on him to go off next game, too, especially with Boston locking down on him, saying, we're not going to give him anything. Now, again, Philadelphia did match bucket for bucket with Boston. If Philadelphia can do that, consistently match bucket for bucket, I do believe towards the end of a game, when Jason Tatum kind of disappears and he gets a little nervous, it's going to really, really hurt Boston. And again, their coach isn't Ime Udoka from last year. He doesn't have that experience. He doesn't have that it factor that Ime had last year. So again, I think that the coaching disadvantage is also going to play a factor. We've seen it throughout the regular season and even the playoffs, where Boston's coach is kind of like, giving away some games, or, kind of had some head scratches with the subs and, just play calling in general. So I do believe that will play a factor as the series goes on, especially when Jason Tatum will go in, instances where he'll go missing for a couple minutes in the game. So I do believe Philadelphia is going to win, especially if Joel Embiid plays games 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I just think that, Philadelphia really wants Boston this time around. And I do believe that they can get them this time around because, again, Boston, they're flawed. They don't have a lot of flaws, but where they do have flaws, it's a pretty big flaw. And again, a lot of it has to do with the closing and also, point guard-ish defense. I know Marcus Smart can guard on the guards, but after him, it's like, who else? Peyton Pritchard? I mean, you can't really depend on anyone else after Marcus Smart, and also coaching disadvantage as well. X factors, though, I will say, for Philadelphia, James Harden. If James Harden can give you 25 points and 10, 11 assists the rest of the way, I do believe Philadelphia is going to win. Again, if Joel Embiid plays, Joel Embiid's obviously the big factor. But, I read a comment earlier today that Joel Embiid being out spreads the floor a little bit more. And that kind of proved to be true this game. But again, James Harden, if he can give you at least 25 to 11 assists a game from here on out, that's going to prove Philadelphia winning this series. X factor for Boston, Jason Tatum. We can't have Jason Tatum go missing a couple times, a couple minutes a game. If Jason Tatum's going, you've got to keep him going. Again, Jason Tatum does that from time to time. He did that in the Atlanta series where he disappeared in close games. Obviously, he was able to help them close out Atlanta in Game 6, but he will go missing from time to time, and he did that in the finals last year. And again, it's just who Jason Tatum is. He gets a little timid sometimes, and again, this is not a knock on him. He's a great, spectacular player, but he does tend to do that if you really watch his game closely. So again, Jason Tatum still plays great defense, whatever, but on offense, when you need him, he kind of goes MIA. He kind of defers to Marcus Smart, to Jaylen Brown, to Al Horford. So again, we need Jason Tatum to be the guy. We need him to score at least 35 from here on out in order to beat Philadelphia. But anyways, I'm still going with the Sixers in 6 games. So there you go. All right, last one, and probably my favorite one. Golden State versus the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, me, as someone who cheers on the Lakers, I've been getting a lot of heat. Fellow coworkers of mine, students, people at the gym have said, oh, Golden State in 5, Golden State in 6. No one said the Lakers. Now, in my personal opinion, I think the Lakers are going to win this series in 5 games. Now, I say 5 because I do believe that this LA team against the Warriors matches up really, really, really good with them. And I'm going to get into it. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers win in 6 at home in LA, whatever. But I do believe that the Lakers match up well with the Golden State Warriors. Now, let's look at it this way. From top to bottom, 2 best players, probably, Anthony Davis and Steph Curry. Then it's LeBron. Then it's, in my opinion, I'm going to go with Klay Thompson. So the top 4 is evenly matched, right? And then it goes down to who's next. I think Rui Hachimura, Austin Reeves, D'Angelo Russell, Jared Vanderbilt on the defensive end. Again, Boston. Golden State has a lot of good players, but a lot of players that are young and kind of a little goofy in a sense. So Jordan Poole had an inconsistent series against the Sacramento Kings. Jonathan Kuminga barely even played. Dante DiVincenzo can't really shoot many three-pointers. I do believe those 3 guys are going to be the death of Golden State, because if they're off or if they're not playing good or if they turn the ball over, it's really going to, make Steve Kerr mad and shorten his rotation. For the Lakers, in this series against Memphis, they just destroyed them on the glass. They blocked their shots. They were matching up well with them. Now, again, did they stop Desmond Bane, who's a 3-point shooter? No. But again, I think that if you put Jared Vanderbilt to begin guarding Steph Curry, or even Austin Reeves to kind of guard him, they're going to slow Steph Curry down. And again, the Lakers have multiple bodies they can throw at Stephen Klay and also Jordan Poole if they need to. They have Rui Hachimura. They have Malik Beasley, who doesn't really play much good defense, but again, he can probably match, a couple threes a game. Lonnie Walker, Mo Bamba if they want to put someone big. I don't think they'll play Mo Bamba that much, but, they may surprise me. They have just multiple players they can throw at Steph Curry. D'Angelo Russell, again, tries better on defense, but he's not really good at defense. But they just have multiple bodies that they can just throw at Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. I do believe Steph Curry has to play, Superman mode in order to help the Warriors win, because, again, that's what he had to do in order for them to win Game 7 against Sacramento. And Golden State really showed either their age and their inconsistency against Sacramento. They looked good game 5. Then game 6, they threw a dud. So I do believe that the Lakers are going to win in 5 because their defense is just, the Warriors aren't going to get anything in the rim. And again, they don't really have great rim protectors other than Kevon Looney, and Draymond Green's kind of a finesse defender. So I do believe that the Lakers are going to just wear on them throughout the series. Again, we've seen the Lakers play Golden State with the new team without LeBron, and they won all 3 games. Now with LeBron, who no one on the Warriors can guard LeBron, it's just going to be, a series that I think a lot of people think Golden State is going to win just because of the shooting. But I think if they can zero in on Steph Curry, again, Steph Curry doesn't really have a good history playing against the Lakers in general. Like, I think at one point he was averaging around 17 points. I think he kind of brought that up a little bit. But Steph Curry doesn't play great against the Lakers in general. So I think that they were going to kind of, not shut him down, but like slow him down a little bit throughout the series as it goes on. I do believe the Lakers are going to win game 1 and maybe lose game 2. I wouldn't be surprised if they win both games. I think that when they go to LA, they're not going to lose a game. I do believe the LA crowd is just going to help the Lakers overpower the Warriors at some point. So that's why I go with the Lakers in 5 or 6. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if it goes 6, but I'm going to go with 5 just because I do believe that the Warriors are coming off a gruesome series. A series where they were basically running up and down the court. They're going to be a little tired. Lakers a little more rested, a little more hungrier than the Warriors. Warriors just kind of glad they came out of there alive. And I do believe that the Lakers are just going to wear on the Warriors as the series goes on, which is why I give the Lakers winning in 5. Now, I will say this. There are X factors to the Warriors winning this series. Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson, if he gives you 25 points in at least 2 games, that can easily change the series. Now, Klay Thompson in the Sacramento series was a little bit of a roller coaster up and down. I do believe if Klay Thompson can give you consistently 20 to 25 points and hit around 3 to 4 3-pointers, Golden State will be fine. But again, Klay Thompson is going to be the big X factor there. Again, we know what we're going to get from Steph at least 3 of the 4 games. But we need to see what we're going to get from Klay. And I feel like Klay is going to be the huge X factor in this series for the Golden State Warriors. Now, for the Lakers, it's going to be the bench. They have a pretty good bench. Malik Beasley kind of disappointed me in the first round series. Again, matchup-wise, I don't think he really matched up well against Memphis. But I do believe against the Warriors, he does match up pretty good. Just like Wenyen Gabriel. He didn't match up great in the Memphis series, but I do believe in this series, when they want to go smaller, Wenyen Gabriel is going to play a huge part. Rui Hachimura as well, if the Lakers want to go small. Rui Hachimura, Lonnie Walker, Wenyen Gabriel, and Malik Beasley can be huge factors off the bench for the Lakers if, the series does kind of go smaller, which we know Golden State in their history against LeBron likes to go small against LeBron teams. So we're just going to see that. It's going to be an amazing series. I'm really just wanting to watch it because of the adjustments both coaches are going to make. I know Steve Kerr may change his starting lineup at some point in the series. And the Lakers may match that with, adding Wenyen Gabriel in the mix to give either Anthony Davis another rebounder or a guy to give Anthony Davis a breather. But anyways, like I said, I'm really excited for this series. Obviously, this is the most time I've spent. I spent 7 minutes on this one. I still think the Lakers are going to win in 5 games. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if it goes 6 games. I do believe they are going to split 2 or split 1 in Golden State. But I think in LA, the Lakers are going to win both games. And then, obviously, I can see the series being closed out in 5 games or possibly 6 in the Lakers' favor. So anyways, there you go. There you have it. Those are my predictions on the NBA second round. I'm going to upload this episode. Hopefully, you guys watch it before you watch the Laker game tomorrow. And again, like I said, it's going to be a fun second round. It was kind of hard to do my predictions just because there's a lot of injuries and, X factors here that I do believe are going to play key roles in this NBA second round. But anyways, hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Like and subscribe. Tell your friends to like and subscribe. I'm going to try to come back before the conference finals at some point, maybe next week, to talk about like, my mid thoughts on, kind of the middle of the series or whatever. And we'll go from there. But anyways, thank you.